You don't just inherit a last name, you inherit beliefs about survival, effort, and worth. Your financial life today is often a reflection of someone else's fears. We carry beliefs we never chose, absorbed from the environment that shaped us long before we understood money. Chapter 2: Childhood and Inherited Beliefs. How the environment you grew up in shapes your financial mindset. Long before you made your first financial decision, long before you understood the meaning of income, saving, or investment, your financial mindset was already being formed. The environment you grew up in, your home, your culture, your early experiences, created the emotional blueprint that still influences your choices today. You absorbed beliefs, fears, and attitudes about money, not through lessons or lectures, but through observation. You learned by watching how the people around you behaved when money was present or absent, when it flowed easily or when it created tension. If you grew up in a household where money was scarce, you likely learned that financial security is fragile. The message you absorbed may have been, "There is never enough," or "Everything can disappear at any moment." As an adult, these beliefs can manifest as fear of taking risks, difficulty trusting financial opportunities, or a tendency to hold on to money tightly, even when doing so limits growth. Scarcity becomes not just a circumstance, but a mindset. On the other hand, if you grew up in an environment where money was unpredictable or associated with conflict, you may have learned to associate finances with anxiety. Raised voices, sudden changes, or silence around financial matters can create a deep-rooted sense of instability. As an adult, you may avoid managing money altogether because it feels emotionally overwhelming. You may postpone decisions, ignore statements, or feel uneasy discussing finances, even when you logically understand the importance of doing so. For some people, money was linked to identity or status. Perhaps wealth was used to gain approval, admiration, or power within the family or community. If so, you may have internalized the idea that money is a measure of worth. As an adult, this belief can create pressure to prove yourself financially, to maintain appearances, or to equate value with possessions. Your financial decisions may become more about emotional validation than about genuine desire or long-term planning. There are also those who grew up in environments of abundance and stability. In these cases, money may feel like a natural resource, something accessible, something manageable, something familiar. This mindset can lead to confidence, openness to opportunities, and a greater willingness to invest or take calculated risks. But even this environment has its challenges. Individuals raised in comfort can sometimes underestimate financial risks or assume that stability is guaranteed, making setbacks feel more destabilizing when they eventually arrive. No matter the circumstances, the environment of childhood leaves a lasting imprint. It shapes what feels safe, what feels threatening, and what feels possible. It influences whether you approach money with confidence or caution, curiosity or avoidance, intention or impulse. These early messages are powerful because they were absorbed before you had the ability to question them. They became the emotional foundation upon which your adult financial behavior is built. Recognizing this influence is not about blaming the past. It is about understanding it. When you acknowledge the emotional patterns inherited from your upbringing, you can begin to separate your current reality from the beliefs that once protected you, but may now limit you. You can ask yourself, is this belief still true for me? Does it support the life I want to build, or does it hold me back? Your financial mindset did not begin with your first job or your first investment. It began in the subtle moments of childhood, the conversations you overheard, the tension you sensed, the examples you witnessed, and the beliefs you absorbed without realizing it. By bringing awareness to this early conditioning, you gain the power to reshape it. You begin to build a financial identity rooted not in inherited fear, but in conscious intention, one that supports the freedom and stability you seek. Money is dirty. There isn't enough for everyone. You have to work hard to deserve it. The beliefs we inherit about money often shape our financial lives more powerfully than the numbers in our accounts. These beliefs, absorbed in childhood, operate quietly in the background, influencing decisions long before we become aware of their presence. They are passed down from parents, grandparents, and communities, not through deliberate teaching, but through repeated messages, emotional tone, and lived experience. Among the most common inherited beliefs are the ideas that money is dirty, there isn't enough for everyone, and you have to work hard to deserve it. Each of these carries emotional weight, and each can influence your financial mindset in ways that continue into adulthood. The belief that money is dirty often arises in environments where wealth is associated with corruption, inequality, or moral compromise. Children raised in such contexts may hear comments suggesting that wealthy individuals have taken advantage of others, or that financial success requires unethical behavior. As adults, these individuals may feel internal resistance toward earning, receiving, or accumulating money. Even when opportunities arise, a subtle sense of guilt or discomfort can appear, as if achieving financial success violates a moral code they did not choose but deeply internalized. This belief can create a psychological barrier to building wealth, not because of external limitations, but because of an internal conflict between financial progress and perceived integrity. The belief that there isn't enough for everyone emerges from experiences of scarcity. In homes where resources were limited or unpredictable, children often absorb the idea that life is a zero-sum game, where one person's gain is another person's loss. This mindset leads to fear, competitiveness, or a deep sense of anxiety around financial matters. As adults, individuals with this belief may struggle to trust opportunities, feel threatened by others' success, or avoid taking risks because they fear losing what little they have. Their financial behavior becomes shaped by the expectation of lack, even when their circumstances have changed. Scarcity becomes a lens through which every decision is viewed. The belief that you have to work hard to deserve it is deeply rooted in many cultures. While hard work is undeniably valuable, this belief can become problematic when it evolves into a rigid rule that only effort, not strategy, creativity, or opportunity, makes someone worthy of wealth. Adults who internalize this message may feel uncomfortable receiving money through ease, efficiency, or innovation. They may overwork, undervalue themselves, or reject opportunities that do not align with their definition of hard labor. This mindset can create a cycle of exhaustion where worthiness is constantly measured through struggle rather than results. The belief itself becomes a barrier to building sustainable wealth. These inherited beliefs share a common thread. They are emotional, not factual. They arise from the environment in which a person was raised, not from universal truths. Money is not inherently dirty, scarcity is not a fixed reality, and worthiness is not determined by exhaustion. Yet when these beliefs are absorbed in childhood, they become emotional rules that shape behavior automatically. Recognizing these beliefs is the first step toward reshaping them. When you notice discomfort around receiving money, ask whether it stems from moral conflict or inherited guilt. When you feel anxious about financial decisions, consider whether scarcity from the past is influencing the present. When you find yourself pushing for exhaustion rather than efficiency, ask whether you believe you need to struggle to be deserving. These reflections are not meant to assign blame, but to illuminate the emotional patterns that were formed long before you had the ability to question them. Once these beliefs are brought into the light, they lose their power. You can replace them with new, conscious beliefs, ones rooted in possibility, abundance, and worthiness. Your financial life does not have to follow the script you inherited. You can write a new one, guided not by the fears of the past, but by the clarity and purpose you choose today. Mental exercise. Identify the phrases you heard as a child. One of the most powerful ways to understand your current financial mindset is to revisit the words that shaped it. Childhood is a time of absorption. Long before you developed your own beliefs, you inherited the beliefs of those around you. The phrases you heard growing up, even if they seemed harmless or casual, left emotional marks that continue to influence the way you see money today. This exercise is meant to help you uncover those messages with clarity and compassion, so you can decide which ones deserve to remain part of your life and which ones you are ready to release. Begin by taking a moment of quiet reflection. Allow your mind to drift back to the environment in which you were raised. Try to recall the financial conversations that took place in your home, not the formal ones, but the everyday comments, reactions, and emotions that surrounded money. Ask yourself, what did I hear repeatedly? What tone did those words carry? How did they make me feel? Often, the phrases that come to mind first are the ones that left the deepest impression. You may remember hearing statements such as, "We can't afford that," "Money doesn't grow on trees," "Rich people are selfish," "You have to struggle to get ahead," or "Be careful, everything can disappear." Each of these messages carries a specific emotional meaning. They shape how you interpret opportunity, how you view wealth, how you handle uncertainty, and how worthy you feel of financial comfort. Even if these statements were spoken in moments of stress or practicality, they can become internal truths that continue to guide you long after childhood has passed. As you identify these phrases, pay attention to the feelings they evoke. Some may bring a sense of fear or limitation. Others may trigger guilt, pressure, or a sense of inadequacy. The goal is not to judge these emotions, but to recognize them. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. By bringing these inherited messages into consciousness, you begin to separate your present reality from the emotional narratives of your past. Next, consider how these phrases show up in your current financial behavior. For example, if you often heard, "We never have enough," you may approach money with anxiety, even when your financial situation is stable. If you heard, "You must work hard to deserve anything," you may feel uneasy receiving money through ease, strategy, or opportunity, rather than effort. If you heard, "People with money change," you may hesitate to pursue financial growth because you fear becoming someone you do not want to be. Once you identify these patterns, you can begin to question them. Ask yourself, is this belief still serving me? Is it based on truth, or is it based on my childhood environment? Does holding on to this idea support the life I want to create, or does it hold me back? These questions allow you to evaluate each message with adult insight rather than childhood emotion. This exercise is not about erasing your past or rejecting the experiences of those who raised you. It is about honoring where your beliefs came from while giving yourself permission to choose new ones. You are no longer the child who absorbed those messages without question. You are now the author of your own financial story, capable of rewriting the beliefs that no longer reflect your values or your vision. By identifying the phrases you heard as a child, you gain an extraordinary gift: awareness. And with awareness comes choice. You can keep the beliefs that empower you and release the ones that restrict you. You can build a financial mindset grounded in clarity rather than fear, intention rather than inheritance, and possibility rather than limitation. Your financial freedom begins not with money itself, but with understanding the emotional messages that shaped your relationship with it. This reflection is the doorway to a new chapter, one written with purpose, wisdom, and confidence. How to reprogram them through conscious affirmations. Once you become aware of the beliefs you inherited in childhood, the next step is to consciously reshape them. Reprogramming your financial mindset is not about denying your past or ignoring your emotions. It is about choosing new thoughts that support the life you want to build. Conscious affirmations serve as a powerful tool in this process. They help replace old patterns with new ones, patterns rooted in clarity, confidence, and possibility. Affirmations are intentional statements designed to guide your mind toward a new emotional reality. For years, your subconscious has operated on messages absorbed without your permission. Affirmations give you the opportunity to speak directly to that deeper part of your mind, offering new instructions and new perspectives. When repeated consistently, they help shift the emotional foundation that shapes your financial behavior. Begin by revisiting the beliefs you identified earlier. For each inherited message, create an affirmation that gently challenges it and replaces it with a healthier, more empowering perspective. For example, if you absorb the belief, "Money is dangerous," or "Money changes people," your new affirmation might be, "Money in my hands creates stability, opportunity, and positive impact." This statement reframes money not as a threat, but as a tool for good, allowing you to approach wealth with confidence rather than fear. If you grew up hearing "there is never enough," you may choose an affirmation such as, "There is always enough for my needs, and I am capable of creating more." This shifts your mindset from scarcity to possibility. It reminds your subconscious that abundance is not limited. It is something you can build step by step through intention and action. For those who inherited the belief "you must struggle to deserve anything," an affirmation like "I am worthy of wealth through clarity, strategy, and aligned action" can be transformative. It helps separate worthiness from exhaustion, allowing you to pursue financial success without feeling that you must sacrifice your well-being or identity to earn it. As you create these affirmations, ensure they are simple, truthful, and aligned with the person you aspire to become. Speak them in the present tense, as if the transformation is already unfolding. "I make decisions with confidence. I manage money with calm and clarity. I attract opportunities that support my growth." These statements gradually shift your internal dialogue, replacing inherited fear with intentional belief. Consistency is essential. Affirmations work through repetition, not intensity. Incorporate them into your daily routine. Say them aloud in the morning, write them down, or repeat them quietly during moments of doubt. Over time, your mind begins to internalize these messages, just as it once internalized the beliefs you inherited in childhood. The difference is that these new messages are chosen consciously, with purpose and awareness. It is important to understand that affirmations do not eliminate emotion. Instead, they guide emotion. They help soothe fear, strengthen confidence, and create space for new behaviors. When your internal dialogue becomes more supportive, your financial decisions become more intentional. You begin to act from a place of clarity rather than reaction, possibility rather than limitation. Reprogramming inherited beliefs is not a quick process. It requires patience, presence, and compassion. But as you continue, you will notice subtle changes. increased confidence, reduced anxiety, more consistent habits, and a growing sense of financial stability. These changes reflect the truth that transformation begins internally, long before it becomes visible externally. Affirmations are not just words, they are commitments. Each one marks a step toward a new relationship with money, one built on understanding, empowerment, and emotional maturity. As you continue to reshape your beliefs, you create the mental and emotional foundation necessary to reach financial freedom with strength, clarity, and purpose. You can't build wealth with a mind that rejects it. One of the most important truths in the psychology of money is that you cannot create what you subconsciously resist. Wealth is not built solely through strategy, discipline, or opportunity. It is built through a mindset that allows abundance to enter and remain. When your mind rejects wealth, whether through fear, guilt, mistrust, or inherited beliefs, your actions will eventually reflect that resistance, no matter how strong your intentions may be. A mind that rejects wealth does so quietly. It rarely announces itself. Instead, it appears in subtle habits: hesitation, self-sabotage, avoidance, or the inability to hold on to financial progress. You may work hard, earn well, or make significant strides, yet somehow end up in the same emotional and financial place. This is because the subconscious mind always seeks consistency with the beliefs it holds, even if those beliefs were formed long before you had control over them. If you grew up hearing that money is dangerous, you may unconsciously push it away to protect yourself. If you were taught that wanting more is selfish, you may feel guilty when you make financially beneficial decisions. If you absorb the belief that wealth is only for certain kinds of people, you may hesitate to pursue opportunities that could elevate your life. These patterns do not reflect who you truly are. They reflect the emotional conditioning that shaped you. The mind's resistance to wealth often shows up in the form of limits. You may invest with fear rather than intention, choosing the safest path not because it aligns with your goals, but because your subconscious fears loss. You may avoid pursuing bigger opportunities because they feel too ambitious, even though you are capable. You may downplay your abilities, undercharge for your work, or decline paths that would allow you to grow. All of these behaviors suggest the same root issue. The mind is trying to protect you from something it believes is unsafe. But wealth is not the enemy. Fear is. Guilt is. Old beliefs are. Wealth simply amplifies the emotional foundation you already carry, as discussed earlier in this book. If your foundation is built on fear or rejection, wealth becomes difficult to sustain. If your foundation is built on clarity, worthiness, and intention, wealth becomes a natural extension of who you are becoming. To build wealth, the mind must first accept the idea that you are worthy of receiving it. This acceptance is not arrogance, it is alignment. When you believe you are worthy of stability, you make choices that support stability. When you believe you are worthy of abundance, you open yourself to opportunities that create it. When you believe you can handle wealth responsibly, you develop habits that reflect maturity and intention. Acceptance also means rewriting the emotional stories that once shaped your perspective. It means recognizing that wanting a better financial life is not a betrayal of your past, but a commitment to your future. It means understanding that your success does not take away from anyone else. It means embracing the idea that you can create wealth without losing your identity, your values, or your integrity. You cannot build wealth with a mind that rejects it because every financial action begins as a thought, a belief, or an emotional response. When the internal world is aligned, the external world follows. This is why the work of reprogramming inherited beliefs is essential. It transforms the inner environment so that growth becomes natural rather than forced. As you continue this journey, remember that wealth is not built only with numbers. It is built with emotional clarity. A mind that welcomes abundance makes choices that attract it, protect it, and multiply it. When you release the beliefs that once held you back, you create space for a new financial reality, one rooted in confidence, purpose, and the freedom to design your life on your own terms. Your financial future begins not with income, but with acceptance. When your mind no longer rejects wealth, you no longer reject the opportunities that lead to it. If you believe this chapter could help someone, feel free to share it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe. Your support truly helps us keep creating more content like this.